You know what perfectionism really is? It's not about high standards. It's about survival. Perfectionism is what we put on when we believe we'll only be safe if we get everything exactly right. But here's the truth. You can't build, grow, or lead while holding your breath. And perfectionism is just one long, exhausting inhale. Welcome back to Unapologetically In Power, where we unlearn the patterns that keep us small and reclaim what power looks like on our terms. I'm your host, Jenn Damaskos, and this is episode 6 of our first theme, how to unlearn who you had to be. Today, we're talking about one of the most polished and praised identity traps of all, the perfectionist mask. Because here's what I've learned. The women who struggle most with visibility aren't the ones who lack ideas. They're the ones whose ideas are trapped behind impossible standards. So let's be clear about what perfectionism looks like. It's not just color-coordinated calendars and spotless homes. It's the marketing expert who has 17 strategy documents, but hasn't posted content in 3 weeks. It's the coach who's taken every certification, but won't call herself an expert. It's the entrepreneur who's been almost ready to launch for 6 months. Modern perfectionism looks like having a content calendar you never execute because nothing feels polished enough. Spending more time perfecting your about page than actually serving clients. Researching your competition until you talk yourself out of your own ideas. Waiting for the perfect moment, message, or market before you start. But here's what perfectionism is really protecting you from. Not failure, judgment. Not mistakes, but being seen as ordinary. Not imperfection, being human. And in today's economy, that protection is expensive. While you're perfecting, someone else is posting. While you're preparing, someone else is leading. While you're polishing, someone else is profiting. According to a Dr. Brené Brown research, perfectionism isn't about self-improvement. It's about earning approval and avoiding shame. It's armor. And the longer you wear it in business, the heavier it gets. I've seen this with my clients. It's the strategist who knows more about messaging than most agencies, but won't start her newsletter because her voice isn't developed enough yet. The consultant who's been working on her signature framework for 2 years, tweaking, refining, perfecting, while her ideal client hires someone else. The leader who has brilliant insights, but shares them in private conversations instead of public platforms because putting them out there feels too vulnerable. But here's the cost of perfectionism in your career and business. You become a perpetual student instead of a teacher, a researcher instead of a leader, a perfecter instead of a profit maker. You don't get to experience the joy of creation, the thrill of connection, or the satisfaction of impact. You get the exhaustion of endless optimization. Because perfectionism isn't perfectionism. It's procrastination in a business suit. So when you drop the perfectionist mask, everything shifts. You start shipping before you're ready and discover that ready's a myth. You let your audience see your process, not just your polish, and find they connect more with your journey than your highlights. You become available for real feedback, real relationships, and real results, not just the illusion of them. The woman on the other side of perfectionism, she posts the imperfect content that sparks conversations. She launches the good enough offer that serves people now. She shows up as she is today, not who she thinks she needs to be tomorrow. And you know what? She doesn't become sloppy, unprofessional, or irrelevant. She becomes magnetic because people don't connect with perfection. They connect with presence. They don't buy flawless, they buy authentic. They don't follow perfect, they follow real. The most successful women I know aren't the ones who never make mistakes. They're the ones who make mistakes publicly, learn quickly, and keep moving. A 2023 study from the American Psychological Association found that perfectionism has increased by 33% over the past 30 years, especially among women under 45. It's directly correlated with procrastination, analysis paralysis, and entrepreneurial burnout. Meanwhile, research from Harvard Business School shows that good enough strategies often outperform perfectionist approach in business because they allow for faster iteration and market feedback. So the companies that succeed, they ship fast, learn quickly, and improve constantly. The ones that fail, they perfect endlessly and launch never. So here's your power prompts for this week. Complete these sentences. I'm perfectioning blank to avoid blank. If I weren't afraid of judgment, I would share blank. Good enough would look like blank. Then do something radically imperfect. Post the content you've been editing for weeks. Share the idea you think isn't fully formed. Launch the thing you're 80% happy with, because done is better than perfect, and authentic is better than polished, and visible is better than invisible. To anchor this reflection without pressure, I use my 5-minute journal from Intelligent Change. It helps me track progress, not perfection. So use my code Unapologetic10 for 10% off at intelligentchange.com. And this week, I want you to be boldly imperfect. Post something unpolished. Share something unfinished. Launch something that's good enough. Because perfectionism isn't the path to your next level. Courage is, and courage lives in truth, not performance. If this resonated, hit subscribe so you never miss what's coming. Share this episode with a woman who's been perfecting instead of posting. And most importantly, show up as you are, not as you think you should be. Because the world doesn't need your perfection. It needs your voice. And this is Unapologetically in Power. I'm Jenn Damaskos, and I see your brilliance, not your polish. Your unapologetic era starts